Hello YouTube and welcome to yet another Doctor Who figure review. In this Doctor Who figure review I'm looking at the newly released 12th Doctor figure. It's not often I get the 3.75 inch figures, but I thought because it's a new Doctor I might as well get it and see what it's like and see if the line has improved. So find out in this review if I think the 3.75 inch line has improved and what do I make of this figure. So let's look at the packaging. Okay, so here is the 12th Doctor in his packaging. So at the top there we have the lovely peg holder, then we have the TARDIS there spinning because of these weird lines suggesting that it is in flight. Then we have Doctor Who there, which I really do like this sort of bit with the starry sort of background. And then we move down to here, we have this weird orange background which I just think looks rather retro and sort of cheapish in a way. And then we have wave 3 just in case you didn't know what sort of wave this figure came from. And then we have the 12th Doctor there, figure displayed really nicely. And then we have the stand and the Sonic. Now the blister packaging just looks like it's been squashed, but I can see why they tried to do it to give a sort of futuristic element. Then we have the name card, 12th Doctor articulated action figure, which I find odd because they would normally put it up there, but it's just weird having that on the tag. And then on the back we have other figures in the line. I'm sure you know what they are, and the time zone playset, and Scan Me for More Fun. Yeah, I probably won't do that. So yeah, that's the packaging. Really, I don't know. It displays the figure nicely. I suppose that's the main purpose, just to display the figure. So yeah, packaging, it's okay. So now let's look at the main man himself, Peter Capaldi, or the 12th Doctor. Look at those eyebrows. Okay, so now on to articulation for this figure. The head can do a full 360-degree turn. The arms are ball jointed so they can move out and do 360. And we have elbow articulation. We do have a wrist, but it is sort of stiff and I don't really want to move mine in case they snap because it feels like they will. We do have waist articulation, but it's incredibly stiff. The legs do kick out and bend at the knee, and we do have boot articulation, what can do 360. So overall, great articulation and pretty standard for the 3.75 inch line. Now let's go on to the detail of this figure. Okay, so now on to detail. Now the head sculpt is sort of the main key for this figure, because the 3.75 inch line normally do fail on this sort of feature, because when Matt Smith was first released it didn't look like Matt Smith. Since the line has begun, the figures have become a bit better, the face sculpts the humans have, and I have to say getting this figure in hand does look a lot more like Peter Capaldi. You can see what they were trying to go for with this sort of into the Dalek look with his really short hair, with his jacket unbuttoned, which I think is really nice. The only problem is with the face sculpt is the actual age. It just looks too young for Peter Capaldi. Hopefully you can see it. You've got a few lines there to indicate age, but it's not as sort of old as you would like it to be. Possibly because of the scale of the figure, you can't put that much detail onto it. If it was in 5 inch, possibly we would get this sort of ageness, but the figures in the 5 inch line do suffer from this problem, such as William Hartnell, Pat Troughton and Jon Pertwee suffer from that problem. Now if we move on to the shirt, if you can see there are buttons on there, which is really nice attention to detail, which is great with his button done up, which is sort of a trademark for the 12th Doctor. The sort of cardigan is done nicely with the lines and the buttons there to sort of indicate sort of a pattern. The jacket has got hints of, well, showing the lapels and the buttons there. The jacket isn't buttoned up, which is a shame. And then we have buttons on his cuff and a pocket and some really nice creases and a seam there, which I think is really nice, and it just looks fantastic. The trousers are this nice sort of navy blue colour, a bit lighter than the jacket, and we've got some really nice creases on there. Now I really do like the boots because you've got the black bit and then you've got the tread, which is great, so it's really nice attention to detail. The boots themselves are meant to have a brogue design, sort of a patterning on the front, but obviously because of the scale they couldn't get it, but there are sort of hints of the pattern there. Of course we've got the laces sculpted there. So yeah, detail is really nice. I have to say, if you want to see this figure at its best, is obviously get it in hand, because you'll see the likeness of Peter Capaldi a lot better. So now let's go on to accessories. So the 12th Doctor comes with his sonic screwdriver. Now the difference is that they've tried to paint the copper sort of handles there, but they've missed a few sections on my one. If you can just see, they've painted one and then they've missed the rest, which is a shame, but I don't mind it because of the scale of it, so you can understand why they missed it. And he also comes with his stand, which is red, because most of the Wave 3 figures stands, well all of them are red, which I actually really don't like. I just think it looks a bit cheap in this colour. So I would have liked to have seen this in a different colour, possibly grey or silver or something to sort of represent that character or colour, like blue. Like the blue ones, I have to say, were probably the best, or the silver ones would have been nice, and of course that just slots onto his feet because he has 2 pegs. So you just clip it on like so. There we are. So now you can put him in a few dynamic poses, and of course the Sonic does slot into his hand. If I can just do this, it's a bit difficult watching it yourself do it on camera. There we are. So there he is, Peter Capaldi on his stand, or the 12th Doctor, and he's just come off his stand. So that's accessory wise, so pretty standard for a 3.75 inch figure, especially for a Doctor anyway. So now let's go on to my conclusion. So what are my overall thoughts on this figure? It is a nice little figure. You can see the improvement in the 3.75 inch line. I do have a few negatives with this figure, and one is this. Where is the red lining? Because that is a trademark thing for the 12th Doctor's costume. Character really did miss a golden opportunity, missing that out and just leaving it this navy colour, which is a real shame, because you could have put him in this really nice pose with coat sort of out, which I can't do because it's just a bit fiddly. So I just find it a shame that they missed that, and of course the figure isn't a very good stander, he just falls. So it's a nice inclusion to have the base, so that stops that little negative. The head sculpt, as I've said, is a great sort of representation for Capaldi in this scale. Hopefully we will see a 5-inch release of this figure, because it'll be great to see. I'll just pop him on his stand now. Quickly. Come on, Capaldi. Yes, there you are. So yeah, I would recommend this for Doctor Who collectors, because it is a nice little addition for your 3.75 inch collection. And yeah, it's not a bad little figure. In hand, it is probably better. I mean, don't believe the online images, because they don't do the figure justice. And to be honest, I actually do like it. I had my doubts about getting this figure. To be honest, I didn't think I would get it because I didn't think it looked like Capaldi. But since ordering it, I feel quite happy in getting it. I feel really happy with the quality of the figure and the way the likeness is. So that draws me on to my next point, which is my next 3.75 inch figure review, which is the Asylum Dalek, which I got because it's sort of rusty, so it's sort of a Series 8 sort of collection there. But there's also been a picture of Scalebox Blitzer, which looks fantastic. I cannot wait to see that figure released. So my next figure review will be of the Asylum Dalek, or I'm just going to call him Rusty. So join me in my review of Rusty, even though it's technically not Rusty. But yeah, join me in that review. Hope you've enjoyed this review of the 12th Doctor, and I'll see you in my next review. Ooh.